think reality TV is entertainment. However, to be truthful, you're put in positions that you would never be in, ever. But like I say, I think that all publicity can be good publicity if you know how to switch it up. And I've been able to use this platform to actually push a lot of different businesses. And now we're actually going to save some lives and help people in our district, District 13.
How do you going to address that? Do you think whatever you said in the past may come and haunt you or bite you in the process? And how would you reconcile that?
With Congress and the administration and things that, and I'm not afraid to speak up and speak out. So my personality is what it is. Then my district needs me. My people need me. District 13 has not been heard. Their voice has not been heard. And the sitting congressman has been doing this job for over 21 years. And most people have not seen him.
Welcome to Mind Trap Podcast. I'm here in Atlanta with Dr. Heavenly, an amazing mother and a wife of 28 years, more than anything else. On top of that, she's a successful dentist, successful entrepreneur, successful reality TV star, and now running for candidate for the U.S. Congress.
Yes.
Right, Dr. Heavenly?
Yes, absolutely.
So welcome to the show, Mind Trap Podcast. And so in Mind Trap, what we do, we explore the limitations of any human being that they go through and talk. Now, let me start off with the first question. Obviously, you are highly visible in reality TV. How do you reconcile yourself between what you're putting out there and the true internal self of Dr. Feminine?
You know what? I honestly think of reality TV as entertainment and nothing more. Thank you for having me, first and foremost. Thank you for that. But yeah, I think of reality TV as entertainment. However, to be truthful, you're put in positions that you would never be in, ever. But like I say, I think that all publicity can be good publicity if you know how to switch it up. And I've been able to use this platform to actually push a lot of different businesses. And now we're actually going to save some lives and help people in our district, District 13, in my congressional race.
So how do you reconcile that? So are there two identities for you? The one when you go on a set, there is a different Dr. Heavenly, or there is a different person, and the Dr. Heavenly is a mother, wife at home. Are they separate? Are there any connection to each other or not?
What I'd like to say is I'm golden in everything I do. Whether you want dentistry, and I've been practicing dentistry in the district for the last 25 years.
Okay.
I've been serving this district for 25 years, and I've been golden in reality TV. I excelled in that. And one thing I know is everything I do, I put my all into. So I'm going to be a great congresswoman as well. I'm going to work very hard with that and make changes that need to be made at District 13.
So basically you are saying to me that you go into a character.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what you do.
Yes.
If you're going to be a congresswoman, you're going to be filling that shoes.
I'm all of those things.
All of those
every
things.
woman, yes. I am a dentist, a very professional dentist, but I am a reality TV star. That's a part of me.
Okay.
And then now I'm a congresswoman that's going to change legislation to help our people.
Got it. And so let's talk about the same politics, right? So a lot of information about you is already in the public.
Yes.
With Married to Medicine, so on and so forth. In reality TV, as you said, it's all entertainment.
Absolutely.
Right? So you have to entertain people. That's what you were doing. But then, there you have, but when you go into politics, you cannot reveal a lot of information like how you do in a reality TV. How do you going to address that? Do you think whatever you said in the past may come and haunt you or bite you in the process? And how would you reconcile that?
Well, actually, I will say that, they asked me on another podcast, I believe it was Candy Bird. She asked me, did I want to apologize for anything I said? If I haven't already apologized, I pretty much meant everything I said on or off television.
Yes.
But I do think that there should be some type of transparency right now with Congress and the administration and things and I'm not afraid to speak up and speak out. So my personality is what it is. I'm a great dentist. I'm going to do great at everything I do, and I'm going to put everything I can. I'm smart. I graduated top of my class. I'm a double HBCU graduate. I went with a full scholarship, Army ROTC, Presidential Scholars Roman Board, meaning that I can be multifaceted and I can do all things.
All things.
Christ.
So let's say, like you said, you're very bold, unapologetic, right? That is your
Absolutely.
real persona and a reality TV persona.
Yes.
But in a political persona, except for a few people, that doesn't do well. Which persona can we expect?
I think I can be all of the above. I think that I can be both. I think that I can be a great legislator, the person that passes bills and actually places amendments. I'm very smart in that tip. But also I can be transparent and I can actually let people know what's actually going on with Congress. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Document what's going on in Congress and have conversations. I'm the type of person that I grew up on free lunch, right?
Yes.
But I've also run multi-million-dollar businesses. So I'm multifaceted on all things at one time because I understand both sides.
Got it.
A lot of people say I'm Democratic, and I am. I'm a Democrat, but I'm moderate because I understand both sides, and I know
business.
It makes you have to know both sides in order to survive in Congress and get things pushed through.
Yeah. Speaking of which, in general, it's a thing happens for most of the female leaders, right? If they're too soft, they call them weak.
Yes.
Right? And if they're strong and bold, they call them difficult.
Yes.
How are you going to walk the tightrope? Which version are we going to see? And which version are you going to play? The weak version or the bold version? Or the one we saw in the reality TV?
If this man say reality TV one more time for me, listen, but let me tell you something. No, for real. Seriously. I can be all those things because you have to know when to be what, right?
Okay.
There are situations that I'm going to have to be bold and speak up and say, excuse me, that's not right. But there are also situations where I have to have humility and come in with meekness and say, hey, you know what? This is not right. How can we make this work together? You have to listen to the people. Actually, you have to disseminate the information, listen to the people, and come up with the best solution.
Got it.
There will be a situation where I do have to say, hey, you know what? Can we work this out? And be humble with it, right?
Got it.
But there are also situations where I can say, you know what? This is not right. We're not going for this, and I have to do something different.
Got it.
So I have to know how to be. And the thing about it is, it isn't just my education because I'm well educated, but it's the experiences I've had. I know how to negotiate. I've been in business meetings. I know how to make things work, right?
Yeah.
I know how to talk to a patient where I have to speak with respect.
Yes.
Then I'm also a wife. So I know how to be meek and be a woman when I need to be. So I understand every situation when I need to be to make things happen. My focus, my goal is always to bring resources back to my community.
Got it. So where softness is required, you will instill softness.
Absolutely.
Where there is boldness required, you will do that.
And I will say even more. That when I'm in Congress and I'm meeting the congressional people, they say there's two types of Congress people, right?
Yes.
Somebody that's out there like Jasmine Crockett speaking up, or people that's actually passing legislation, that's working, whipping up a bill, right?
Yeah.
I can do both. I can do both. I'm somebody you never met before. I'm different. And that's what's making me so out there. I'm different. I can do all of those things at the same time. And I'm very confident about it.
That's good. So why do you want to get into Congress, Dr. Heavenly? You've been so successful. You already reached the ceiling. Most people would aspire to, so many things we talked about. Why politics?
You know what?
Is that you think that you have reached the ceiling, that you want to break the ceiling and then go beyond that? What drove you to make a decision to run for Congress?
You know what? That's a great question. And a lot of people ask me that question. What I'm going to say is healthcare. Yes, I have been very successful as a dentist. I've been successful as a reality TV star, right?
Yeah.
But I will say that my district needs me. My people need me. District 13 has not been heard. Their voice has not been heard. And the sitting congressman has been doing this job for over 21 years. And most people have not seen him. What really was the ticker for me was the big, beautiful bill. I knew insurance better than none other. I understand because I'm working with patients one-on-one, talking to them about how they cannot afford their treatment, how they cannot afford their prescription drugs. And I said, you know what? Somebody has to do something. And if you understand politics, you know when there's an incumbent in office, it's very difficult to beat the incumbent without names, without money, without resources, and without reach.
Yes.
I've been able to get on 60 plus vlogs, big ones and beautiful ones like yours. I've been on TMZ, I've been on Candy Burris, I've been on Jamal Bryant, I've been on all of the blogs and will continue to do so to get the word out about District 13 and their needs.
And what was the reason behind that?
What's the reason behind it?
Yeah, like from being a reality into
caring about my people.
Okay.
I went to Meharry Medical College. We learned to serve the underserved. People will die unless somebody stands up and gets that health care right. They can make sure that people on that Georgia pathway system get the expanded Medicaid, the XAA permanent. I would love a single payer option, actually. But somebody has to do something to speak up for our people.
So let me ask you a question, right, Dr. Heavenly. Why is the richest nation on the planet Earth is in the health trap that it cannot satisfy the caring of its own people Yet we go and fight so many wars. Yeah, we go to Mars, we go to Moon, all that. Why is the basic thing not being addressed? And what is that you can possibly do to change that?
That's an amazing question. Amazing, amazing. Because we have the money.
Yes.
We have the money. We
don't have the risk.
It's what we choose to do with the money, right?
Yes.
But I think that a lot of times people just need to hear the plight of the people and see things from both sides. I think that the arguments and the disagreements, you have to have somebody that can see both sides, right?
Yes.
Somebody that comes in with reach and it's real and relatable, that can actually work out with people in my district and work with all people, not just Democrat, not just Republican, not just white, not just black, not just anyone, everyone, and be able to speak with people with confidence and tell them what the situations are. I am truly a believer that everybody has a good heart. Now, do they always do the right things? Absolutely not. But I think that people have heart to do the right things when it's time to do them. And honestly, I think that we're not dealing with flesh and blood anyway. We're dealing with principalities in high places and evil spirits in high places. And then when you have a spiritual realm around you, you don't understand how things are getting done, but they're getting done.
Yeah, because, it's really between the care and the business. And we seem to more focus on the business in terms of collecting more dollars at the expense of, the people. Right? I mean, to me, it's a basic right.
It is.
Right? I mean, it's not like any other country. We are the richest nation on the planet Earth. If it happens to us, to me, I'm not able to digest that.
But think about this in this situation. This is just a conversation.
Yes.
If I understand the needs of my people, that they're hungry, that they're not getting the education, based on zip code or whatever, right? But I also understand the businesswoman, business person, right? That there's no interest like self-interest, right? So if I can get with you what you want, which is business and tax credits and things like that, but you agree to give us jobs, give us resources. You can get the tax credits, but you need to create jobs to keep the economy stimulated. Now, over here, we can increase the minimum wage so we can actually work with dignity, right?
Yes.
So we can do both things and we can do it together. You can get what you want and we can get what we want.
Yes. So let's talk about, all the tax credit you brought up in your own state, in Georgia. Why is that going away? I mean, I thought that Atlanta was booming, Georgia was booming, so many companies came, so many movies were made, so many reality TV shows. It's almost like a reality capital of the world.
Yes.
And now it's going backward with those credits going away. What can be done? And why are these policies are taking us back?
You know what, to be honest, I don't know why, because it doesn't make sense. My whole thing is if people are creating jobs and they're actually making money, then it makes sense to keep that actual policy, right?
Yes.
I do not know. I cannot tell you why we have billions of dollars in surplus, but in this we have people dying with medical problems. It does not make sense. I think either they don't know, they don't show, or they don't care.
They don't care. That's a conflict.
Yes, it is definitely.
So it's not lack of money. It's lack of something else that is stopping, and same thing applies. So as now that I'm going into the Congress, how are you as a new Congresswoman going to make those changes? What is that you personally going to do?
Absolutely.
Are you going to get caught in the system like everybody else? Or how are you going to stand out? And you are very bold out there right now. So is the same boldness can we see?
Yes, absolutely. What I think is you have to think about things. And you know that no interest like self-interest, but you have to go in there with a plan. For example, if I understand Medicaid better than the others, and I have to keep it simple, just affordability, then healthcare. I have to be able to understand that bill in order to make it work for me. Now, the big beautiful bill has passed, right?
Yes.
But what I can do is go ahead and put in amendments, right, to the bill. That say, hey, you know what? We need an extension on this. We need to cover people with mental health challenges. We need to have grants in federal grants for people that have autism, because everything can't have a big blanket over it, right?
Yes.
So you can still have your bill, but we have to actually put amendments in it to make sure it works for everyday people.
Got it. Switching topic. How did you get into reality TV?
That's a great question.
What made you do that?
About that number. Listen, so reality TV, honestly, when it first came to me, somebody was pitching a show, and I thought it was BS, right? BS, because everybody's pitching something, And so when I actually casted for the show, right? I turned it down initially.
Okay.
But when it first came out, it had millions of viewers.
Gotcha.
Now my business cap came up, right?
Got it.
If don't nobody like me but half the people, I still got 500,000 people or 2 million people that can come to my practice and get beautiful smiles. So it was a business decision more so than anything else.
Nice.
And I understood what it was. I understood the assignment, and I know that drama sells, So, yeah.
How much has it helped you? as a person?
Tremendously. In business, absolutely.
Nice. That's a good call.
Absolutely. So, yes. And I didn't know initially. I turned it down because I had 9 dental practices.
So as any entrepreneur, you took the risk, got in, and the benefits came in. Now, do you watch any other reality shows?
I do not.
You do not?
I think it kills brain cells. I do not. No.
You do not watch anything?
No. I do not. And people assume that I do. I don't know those shows.
No, only for the purposes of you watching so that you can perform better. So how did you get into this character mode in a reality TV? You're never an actor, right? You are a dentist. You are an entrepreneur. Your wife, a mother. So how did you get them on camera?
I don't know. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. And good thing I'm using my skills for good right now, okay? Because I can come in a room and intimidate people in the room and actually get a rise out of them in the room naturally. And my husband says it's a blessing and a curse. Okay. But I can also use my skills for good when I come to Congress and I'm able to speak to people and actually explain to them in a way that they can understand that everybody here can have what they want.
Yeah. Give me one example where it's a blessing. Give me one example where it's a curse.
I don't think of anything as a curse. I really don't. I think that everything I do is for the good of God, and everything I'm doing is going to be benefiting me in the long haul, right? Okay. A blessing, it brought great business to me, but it also gave me a platform where now I can use that platform, and I have the obligation to help my people, and I can be a voice for the people in District 13.
Got it. So what do you think about this cancel culture? People are canceling people left and right, whether it is in the entertainment, in the politics. What is your take on it?
I don't agree with cancel culture. I think that everybody makes mistakes. Everybody says the wrong thing at one time. Nobody is perfect, right? Nobody 100%. Is perfect. So I don't agree with cancel culture. But, I also think that people don't have long memory spans. You know, they're memory spans. Yeah. So when they cancel you, 3 weeks later, they love you again. That's been my experience. That's been my experience. They don't stay canceled too long. They try to cancel you, right?
So the moral of the story here is that don't worry about cancel culture. No. You keep on saying whatever you want to. So so I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not
saying say whatever you want to. However, I say if you make a mistake and people know your heart, then cancel culture won't last.
Yeah, right? I think you're right. I think the attention span is so limited. I mean, we live in a world where it's less than, 8-10 seconds?
Yes.
So where do you think the whole Gen Z is going with this attention deficit disorder and with the social media?
I think it's a social experiment. We will see. I have no clue. We don't know. We don't know what it does because we have never experienced it before. I don't know what the future holds for our young people that have had a situation that we never had. I do see that they cannot have the capacity that we do. They do not work as hard as we do. They can't do it. They try. They can, but I can't. I don't have an answer for that question because that's something new. It's an experiment because look, people on their phone right now. Look at that young man right there.
Yeah, Yeah. And how much time do you spend on the phone?
I try to limit it. It can be addictive. Like if you get it.
Yes, it is.
I get the phone and I be like, oh my God, let me put this phone down. And I try to put my phone in a different room now before I go to sleep because you'll wake up and you'll pick the phone up. So so you have to limit.
Why do you keep scrolling?
I guess it's interest. I mean, drama. I mean, think about this. Okay, when I'm looking at the political news, right? And I cuss? And I'm playing because I'm just using an example. But when I'm looking at political news and it's like plain and bland and saying, you know what, today, we got 7%, the inflation happened or whatever. There's one lady on politics that says, these motherfuckers need to stop. And I will watch that because it's like something different. You know what I'm saying? So it's about grabbing people's attention and then giving them good information when you get their attention.
Got it. Yeah, because, it's changing, right? I mean, it's like we live in a society which is, more instant gratification.
Absolutely.
And so how do we deal with that as you go into politics? Do you want to do anything to solve these problems with this current generation?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I think there has to be research. I've done real research on what's going to happen. Yeah. What's the outline? What's the what's the outcome of our young people and what things they're exposed to right now?
So let's go into a personal question, right? So obviously you're extremely successful in a professional setting, in a reality setting.
Nowhere near where I want to be, but
but you already hit the ceiling. You're already getting into. How much more do you want it to do?
Whatever God has for me.
What is that?
Whatever God
you've already done so much.
And I love every moment of it.
Don't you think that is too much?
I do not. I think that God put things on you and he does not give you more than what you can bear. It might be too much for you,
No,
but it's not too much for me because God would give it to me if I could handle it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where you go with that.
no, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at
I
it,
think
okay.
that you can be all things, but not all things at the same time.
Got it. I mean, like I'm looking at it, Dr. Heavenly, from a standpoint, you're a dentist, entrepreneur, mother, wife, reality TV, now politics.
Can I break it down?
Yeah.
Okay, I work 2 days a week. I work 2 days clinically a week, right? When I am when on reality TV, we film 12 weeks out the year, and it's actually they actually work with your schedule, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a wife and I'm a mother, but all my kids are grown right now. Make up.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm an empty nester, so I'm able to do all these things, but maybe not at all at the same time. But
you sequence them in such a way,
absolutely.
so it's not.
Moment, but not every day.
Yeah. So now asking about a mother, right? So with that, all that, with have you ever felt that with all the things that you got involved, maybe as a mother you may not fulfilled everything that as a mother, but maybe you did, and how do you reconcile that? Right? Which most of the working mothers face that. It's a conflict that they go through. I need to care for my baby, but at the same time I have.
Can I say what I really want to say, y'all?
Yeah.
How do you feel as a father? I mean, honestly, because that is necessary. I mean, as long as somebody's there for the children,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
It needs to be someone, a man or a woman.
Doesn't
there.
matter. It's a
and
man,
my
yeah.
thing is, I honestly, I think that everybody would think that, hey, you know what? Maybe I could have done some things differently. However, my daughter got to see a powerful Black woman and what she could do and how she could
100%. Absolutely.
But yes, you're going to give up something and get something else. Absolutely.
That's exactly what I'm asking.
And you have to choose what you think,
100%.
is important. Is it important for your daughter to see a positive Black woman that's not dependent on anyone
Yes.
and be self-sufficient? Or is it important for you to see a woman that's home every day? It's kind of up to you and whatever you do.
It is. And how did you deal with that? Is really the question. Is not so much about the choices that you made. It's so much about how did you deal with that. And the idea there is to people watching this podcast can relate to those situations and feel, hey, I shouldn't be trapped by the society that labels female has to be a certain way, a mother has to be a certain way. And one of the things that we do in the podcast is to say, who says that? Who sets those limits? Is the society, or is it you, or is your family? And how do you break those barriers is really why I'm asking the question. It's not so much about gender bias, it's so much about to break those gender barriers.
I think one of the great things about this country is that you can live the life of your dreams, right? No
Yes.
matter how you want to live it, whatever is right for you, whatever you want to do.
Yes.
If you want to go to school and become whatever, if
Yes,
you want
it
to be
is.
an entrepreneur, you can do it. It doesn't matter. You're here to pursue happiness, right?
Yes.
And whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah.
So the answer is never a same answer for anyone, but for me, I feel like God wouldn't have given me all these talents if I wasn't
Beautifully
mentally out
said.
here to do the things that He taught me to
100%.
do.
You must exercise all the God-given talents
Absolutely.
to you, and the abilities, and the infrastructure, and the opportunities. And of course, we live in a land of freedom. And of course, in our declaration of independence, it's a pursuit of happiness. That's the third one. Right?
Absolutely.
And so we must pursue that. If that's what keeps you going, you must keep going. Right? And same thing applies to a man as well. Right? You could be doing so many things, but if you're not taking care of your kids, then you have to pick and choose. And that's really, so you're not in a trap as any parent would do. You get into a parental trap. Oh my God, poor thing, I didn't do this. And you get into a guilt trap. And I just wanted to ask a question to see where you are.
I think my priorities have always been in place. For first God, then family, then everything else. And I've always tried to live to that. Have I been perfect? Absolutely not. Have I been at work thinking about home? Yes. Have I been at home thinking about work? Yes. Nobody is perfect. Nobody has the balance. But I think I have my priorities.
Got it. If it is, then we would be God.
Right.
And we are all, after all, humans.
Absolutely.
Right? And so we talked about your journey as a mother and as a wife. What are some of the challenges that you face going through this? You've been successfully married for 28 years, obviously, or doing something right. So what are some of the challenges that you felt you would have faced and you got through it?
I think that you have to go back to who I am and where I come from. I come from meager beginnings. Like I always say, I'm a little girl that grew up in a room with no windows. I worked hard for everything I have. I think that when you see in your life the things that you don't have, you want your children to have more. So then you work to make sure your children have the things that you didn't have. but then they actually take it for granted. That's one of the issues. They take it for granted, and then they may not work as hard as you want.
Yes,
them to, right?
yes.
And I think a lot of people are dealing with that because we grew up in an era that we did not have things. So we thought, hey, we're going to make it easier for our kids to get things. And that's the trap. It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
Because you have to know how to deal with it. And you know,
yes.
And we love our children so much, it's very difficult.
To pass on the difficulty.
To pass on the difficulty, absolutely.
And how do you balance that?
You got me. I don't know. I can't answer. I
right?
Know.
It's like you said, it's a double-edged sword, right? On one hand, you want to make their life easier, but then you are making them soft and weak in the process. And what is the right balance?
We're trying our best. We're doing the best we know how. And I think that as a congresswoman, I can change some of the laws to protect our children. And that's my whole purpose of doing that.
Got it. Yeah, I think, yes, with all this Epstein file and so much, so on and so forth, that is something that we must address that. And
you know what? The Epstein files is one thing that we all can agree on, whether you MAGA, whether you Republican, whether you Democrat, whether you independent. We can all agree.
Nobody should mess with the kids.
Nobody should touch children.
Yes. Period. It starts there, ends there. And we must do anything to take these, heinous criminals, and I don't even know if I would even call them humans. These psychos out of the system. And what is it you're going to do to take these people out?
What am I going to do? Listen, if it ain't done already, I think that we have all the evidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We just need a Congress that's going to stand up.
Collectively. When I say you and I as a person, as a collective,
somebody that can bring people together.
Yeah,
absolutely. Make the right decision.
Yeah.
Now, in my district, I will tell you that in the state, we have, at one time, we had 9 Republicans, 5 Democrats. Now that with Marjorie Taylor Greene gone,
yes.
Now we have 8, and then we have 6. Okay, so I'm trying to actually, if you come in and you got 8 and you got 5, right? If I can switch a seat, right, and now we got 6 and we have 7, and switch one more seat, 2 seats will make us right now in the government be more have more of a majority. Now we can get stuff done if we can stop all the executive orders and actually go with what the Constitution means for Congress. Now we can go in and have majority and get things done that actually benefit our people.
Okay. So going into politics now, are you going to make decision based on all these democratic values as we stand, or are you going to take position based on issues? Where do we see Dr. Heavenly in the middle? Is it the right or the left, or somewhere, like you said, you're moderate, and then also you're a business person. Obviously, there are certain things that are more, Republicans seem to be more conducive to the business environment, whereas Democrats seem to be more socially oriented. Where would your balance be?
I think that that's a great question, but I think that it's not up to me. I think as a congressperson, I speak for the people.
Yes.
Whatever the people want. You do town halls, you actually listen to the people, talk to the people, and what the majority of people want, that's what I will vote for. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. It matters what the people want. So you have to go out with the people, actually talk to them, see what their issues are. And it's just like a medical position, right?
Yes.
You find the sore spot. The people will tell you where the sore spot is, and a lot of times they will give you the solution as well.
Nice.
So if you listen to the people, you can give
nice. Good answer, though.
It doesn't matter. Absolutely.
You got me there. I was trying to get you there, but you got me right back.
Yes.
The answer with the people. Town hall is the answer.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen to the people. And the people have spoken.
Yes.
Wonderful. In 2026, they do the same thing. Whatever has changed in proportion. That the cost of living allowance has not caught up with that. And therefore, people are getting poorer and poorer.
Now, you're a very rich man. I heard about you, right? Do you feel like you're paying your share of taxes right now?
I don't.
So what are we going to do about that?
Well, the systems have been set up that way. But it's to benefit the rich. The reason is it could be twofold, right? The rich would argue, I'm like a coward, meaning I create jobs, I create housing through the apartments, etc. So I'm doing the job of the government. Therefore, I got to be incentivized so I can buy more properties, I can buy more companies, I create more jobs. And the counter argument could be, if a rich man making a lot of money, he's not paying taxes like a person flipping burger in a Burger King. Where is the economics? Look at even Warren Buffett. His secretary paid more taxes than the richest man on the planet Earth at the time. How do you explain that?
So how do you subset that? Even if you know it's wrong, right? And we all know our taxes and we try to prevent paying as much as we can, through the tax loopholes. What are you doing to subset that for the people?
That is why some people may start a foundation and they may do their own thing.
I'm asking you what you doing.
Well, I'm not doing anything. I mean, I'm doing exercising the tax code.
Right. Okay.
But
okay.
Dr. Heavenly,
At
don't
least you're
expect.
honest.
I am.
Yeah.
But don't expect me. Oh my God, the tax code is favorable to me. No, I'm going to go and pay 40%. I'm not that kind of person.
I know.
If I am, I would be the Dalai Lama of America, right? And I'm not.
No.
Yeah. So obviously, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to pay the least amount of taxes that are legally possible.
So do you feel like big corporations should be able to come in our communities and buy up all the properties, raise the rents so that people cannot afford
No,
it?
they should not do that. They should not do that.
But if there's an incentive to do it.
I think that's why they're doing it.
Absolutely.
That's why they're doing it. And then the wages are not rising. And so they cannot buy the home. So the American dream is gone. And these corporations have a lot of money. They come here and jack up all the rental prices, right? And it's not just happening in America, it's happening around the world.
What's
Right? And they're displaced. I mean, the only solution would be is just to, but then
change the legislation?
Yeah, change the
heavily in there so she.
yeah, but then it doesn't become a free economy, right? Then it becomes very restrictive.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. There's a way to do it that can be beneficial on both sides.
How would we do that? What is the balance?
Absolutely. We would still give tax credits to create jobs, right? But we have to raise the minimum wage. But we have
That I think I agree with
balance.
you.
We have to balance. We have to take some of your money, sir.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to give some to the people.
And then your money, but you're also very good. You're extremely
Well,
rich.
not as much as you.
Come on.
Is not as much as you. But what we have to do is actually be fair. Where we
Yes, I agree.
taxes from you,
Yeah.
and give more to the people that are making 515 and make sure they got the jobs and the opportunity so they can pursue the American dream as well.
Yes.
And healthcare should be free. Education should be free.
100%.
And this should be the land of opportunity.
It is, and the literacy rate has to be improved. Like I come from Detroit, 65% of the people cannot read or write. It used to be 50. It's getting worse and worse. The poorest literacy rate in the
Why do you think that is?
That's an excellent question. I always ponder. The system knows that. You know, how do I know that? Because we designed the prison system based on how many people read or write in a county.
Do you not think that's by design?
It is by
It's
design.
by design.
Because
And they have the schools, they have the Department of Education, so they can control the curriculum. Because if they control your mind,
Yes.
they control the outcome of everything. And
Welcome to
they
Mind
will
Trap.
do
Welcome
it.
to Mind Trap podcast.
Now, last thing I want to talk to you about.
Yes.
Immigration.
Yes.
How do you feel about what's going on right now with ICE, the immigration? Because I was just down there at the TSA. The federal employees are not getting paid, but ICE has already had a budget that was front loaded.
Yes.
So they're getting paid. You're not stopping that. So how would you, and I could talk about it as a politician, but I'd love to hear your opinion.
No, I think it's bad for the country. It's in many ways, as an immigrant, as a legal immigrant, as a highly skilled immigrant.
And we're all immigrants.
Yes.
We all
The real owners of the land are the Indian, not the Indian, my Indian, but it's the American Native Indian, right? So we are all immigrants. So to me, it's hurting the country in many ways, right? We talked about the kids and all that. And as an American, in the land of freedom, with land of opportunities, we became complacent, right? Meaning we don't want to do the jobs, the agricultural jobs, the difficult jobs. We don't want to pick trash. We want to have the Mexicans pick up the trash, right? So we are used to that. Now you get rid of them. Who's going to do that?
The people are not. I've been talking to the people in the community. They're not going to do those jobs.
Exactly.
So I don't know what y'all going to do.
Exactly.
Y'all better hurry with them robots.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to do those jobs. They would rather die
Exactly. Thank
than
you.
do those jobs.
So that's one issue.
We're in a pickle.
Yeah, we are in a huge pickle, right? And then the idea was to remove the criminals. And I've not seen the immigrant criminals being taken away in
Where are the
Westwood.
real criminals, Tail?
I don't know.
Are they not in? Where are they, Tail? I want you to say, where are the criminals?
They are living in this country.
You ain't giving the right answer, Tail. Tail, where are the criminals at?
The criminals are everywhere.
Okay, all right. I guess it is.
The criminals are making money, a lot of money. The criminals are the one who's in the Epstein file.
Right.
Right?
Where are they?
They're free.
Okay, we almost there. We're gonna get back. But my question is this: everybody knows right from wrong. Everybody knows good from bad, and if we could just get a little bit of right from y'all billionaires.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we could actually...
Why are you putting me into the billionaire? You and I are in the same
I
bucket.
ain't no billionaire. I'm not nowhere near that. But what I'm saying to you is we know right from wrong.
We do.
And that's if we can start there and have conversation and really listen to each other. I bet you that everybody in Congress, whether you're Democratic, Republican, can come to a conclusion that...
Yes. So to me, to answer your question, we're not really focused on the real... It's a land of immigrants, right? We already know that. To me, I would summarize it this way, right? The reason America became America is really because of the recipe of the immigrants.
Absolutely.
So the immigrants, they bring in the fire in the belly. They bring the entrepreneurial mindset. That to me is only available in the first generation of immigrants, maybe the second, and then it starts to cool off as we go up.
They're hungry.
The hunger is gone, right? And that hunger, if you take it away, to me it's like, why is Coca-Cola? Because they have the recipe. So American's recipe is really the immigrant is the recipe. And then you take it away.
And that's what built this country.
100%.
Absolutely. We agree. Real.
Yeah. And that hunger is being taken away under the disguise of, taking away criminals, but you're taking away... look at the facts. Look at who's running the Google. Look at who's running all these tech companies, silicon companies. A lot of them are immigrants. And then whether, again, as we talked about, once you go into 3-4 generations, complacency going to set in.
Anyway.
I come from Detroit, right? Detroit was the Motown. It was the music capital of the world. It was the auto capital of the world. It was the Silicon Valley of the world. 100 years later, it lost its mojo. Why? Because it became complacent. And complacency is part of the human experience. And therefore, what we need to do is like what the American experiment was, to bring in new blood, new hunger into the system, and then constantly kept revitalizing the economy. And that is why more than any other country, we were continuing to prosper for years to come. And I'm afraid that if you take away that recipe, if you take away that...
Already seeing the impact of it. Already.
Yeah. So you take away, where are we going to be? Do you want to be a first world country or a third world country? To me, to summarize, anti-immigrant policy is really taking America as a third world country. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. And I'll end it by saying that we always have to think with humanity. Anytime you're pulling good people away from their families, stripping the kids away in a way that's no dignity and no real path to citizenship.
Yes.
No clear path, and people are afraid to even go to their court dates now because they're here legally, just not citizens yet.
Yes, right.
So there's got to be a way to do that with dignity. And I think that once we find that equal ground, we can actually start. We're going to have to tear this thing up before and then start rebuilding it the right way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So as you walk into the House of the Congress, what do you expect to do on the day one of your office?
Absolutely. If you look on my website, my policy is there. But day one, the things that I have to do is fix that big, beautiful bill because people are going to be unalive. So first thing I have to do is come in with an amendment that would extend the Medicaid so that people can keep their medical insurance. That's the main thing I would do, extend the Medicaid. Yeah.
Any other personal goal you have?
I have plenty of them.
Okay.
We can talk about dentistry and how we need to take care of our veterans and make sure everybody has dental coverage. We can talk about mental health. We can talk about a lot of things. There is so many topics that I didn't even know some of them until I started going out in the community, talking to people, doing town halls. There are so many issues that need to be addressed. Infrastructure. We can talk about environmental justice, so many things. But when you're running for office, you have to keep it simple. And simple for me is affordability, healthcare, and education. Those are my three things, and those are the things I know best.
Wow. You sound like a career politician.
Well, I am not.
Yeah. Let's get it. Let's go to the polls and vote.
So, I'm Dr. Heavenly Combs. I'm running for Congress, District 13. Make sure you check me out on drheavenly4georgia.com. Like, subscribe, all my channels, dr_heavenly. And make sure you comment and make sure you share my political views and my political posts. It really does help. And I'm sitting here and I'm asking for your vote. Get out the early vote. The voting date is May 19th. And make sure you vote in the primary because that is when I will win in the Democratic district.
Absolutely. See you in the Congress.
Thank you. Thank you for this time. Thank you.
And thank you for, me at your place, yes.